Hello and welcome back to another Warlock's Tower battle report. So this is game 4 from NICon. I'm currently in fourth place, I think. There's a long way clear for first and second, but if I play well over the next two games, it's a 5-game tournament, I could do well. So yeah, it could go either way today. So yeah, anything to play for still. So I'm playing a guy called Nick, who is a subscriber to the channel. So that's really great. I've known Nick for quite a while. He's always runs this very nice looking Wood Elf army, Sylvan elves. Obviously, it's changed a little bit for Ninth Age, but yeah. So we'll get straight into it. The secondary objective is to kill the 3 scoring units, or chosen 3 scoring units. So he actually very sensibly, I was like, oh, he'll look at 2 footpads and think, oh well, they're easy to kill, and then all I need to do is just stick them in my back field and they'll stay well out of the way. But he sensibly realises that I need to engage with my clan rats and my plague monks to get anywhere, so he chooses those and one of the footpad units. So on to Nick's deployment. So he has a unit of 8 dryads on my far right, deployed in the field. He then has a unit of dryads in front of his unit who have 2 hand weapons. He only has 3 scoring units, so it's a pretty easy decision for me. He's then got an eagle, a unit with great weapons, the rangers. The really cool conversion of the Ungors is his Kestrel Riders, who sound pretty nasty. I'm pretty concerned about those guys. And then he's got a big unit of Spear Elves, with on the left is his BSB with the blonde hair. Over from that is a Treeman Ancient. He is a Wizard Master, 4 spells on Divination. So he's got 2 really nasty damage spells. One that doesn't allow regens and wards and just does straight wounds, and one that allows reroll to hit. So yeah, pretty nasty. And then we've got an eagle, got 5 pathfinders and 7 pathfinders, and then another unit of Kestrel Riders. And then for my deployment, so I went pretty much all on the left. I've got some rat swarms. The footpads with the 2 skulls on their movement tray are the ones marked for death for the scoring unit, so they're hoping to loiter behind the hill. Obviously, A-bomb up on the hill, Globadiers, 2 lots, and the rat swarms. They're the rule that allows them to move through friendly units. Awesome. Big unit of clan rats, again with the general at the front. A-bomb. Footpads who are now relegated fully to chaff. I don't care that they're scoring, they're not marked, so that's all good. A unit of plague monks and the swarm behind, the slaves behind them, and then we have the plague claw catapult and the lightning cannon. Now, may seem an odd choice when it's got pathfinders to chuck the lightning cannon out on the far side. As far as I'm concerned, they're going to be able to shoot it. The way he's positioned his Treeman suggests he's pretty worried about it. They're going to kill it, regardless of where I stick it, and I just don't want panic tests all over the place from it dying. So stick it out of the way. I also weirdly kind of want his Treeman to come to play, because I think with Potion of Strength, I think the assassin could really chop it up. So yeah, I don't mind his ancient coming out to play. It's not exactly 3 points, but yeah, he kills the lightning cannon, he comes out to play. That's all good. So yeah, that's a slightly odd strategy, but it's not a bad strategy, I think. So yeah, I let him go first. I kind of wanted to see where his movement went. He's a very aggressive player, especially for Sylvan Elves player. I mean, you might notice 3 big blocks of fighty guys. So yeah, he knows what he's doing with those, and he pushes them forward. So he comes forward tentatively. I rolled really big with both A-bombs. I don't want him overrunning into my backfield, so that footpads are there to kind of block up both units from overrunning too far. Plague months get an extra bit of movement. So I must have gone first. Oh no, he shuffled around first turn. And then, yeah, basically, he declared a couple of charges. Comedy of comedies, I fled from the Kestrel Elves with the footpads, and I'd pretty much written them off. They were going to bounce through my general's unit, through the Globadiers, hit the Plague Claw catapult, and then they were going to be off the table. So fleeing was an auto dead, but in all honesty, I didn't play any test games with this list before going into the tournament, and my level 4 on Witchcraft, in all honesty, was a big mistake. It's too short range, so the plan quite a lot of the way through was to have my level 4 forward in the Clanrats block and then bouncing back to the Slave Bunker, which is where he should have been all game, or all tournament really, but with a short range of Witchcraft, just to threaten at all, he was forward. So basically, the Kestrels had like a 6-inch charge on the dice, even less, I think, into the footpads, which they would then decimate, and then it was like a 6-inch overrun into my block. Now, he then had declared a charge with an eagle to basically allow them to fight again. So, yeah, I was pretty concerned about this. So, yeah, one of those things. I had to flee them, and they fled not very far. So they double won the flee. So they're going to get caught and destroyed there. So that flee just changed the complexion of the game. They were going to fail charge and bounce off the back of the great weapon guys, but they just sat in the middle of nowhere's land now, the Kestrel. So yeah, really weird sort of turn of events. The great weapons charge in. The spear guys move up. The Treeman Ancient comes out to play because he killed my lightning cannon turn 1. One Great Eagle goes and sits in front of the Plague Rats. So yeah, I'm not unduly concerned about this. I think basically Great Eagle is going to die before it gets to go. So I think its assassination run into my unit is no good. But yeah, that's fine by me. And then I can charge into the Kestrels, but I'm going to probably lose my level 4 then. So my thought at this point is, well, I'll turn the A-bomb around on the left and charge into the unit and probably destroy them, and or charge my assassin out into the unit and destroy them that way. So yeah, I'm reasonably confident this time. It looks all good. But I mean, the A-bomb in combat, I don't think it should die. It's really there to just try and make a mess of those elves, hitting on 4s, and then the 3d6 attacks from the A-bomb just smashes elves open. And I know, it's a 400-point model. It seems really expensive to just throw away like that, but it does such a lot of damage that it just makes really good combat units completely ineffective in one fell swoop. So if it gets to go, which obviously against Initiative 5 elves, it may not, but if it gets to go, great. It's more than done its job. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about where the A-bombs are at, even though he's got this pretty good divination magic. I tried to half range him, but he chucked all his dice at that and stopped. So yeah, take 2 wounds from. He throws the D6 spell. He had a really big magic phase, like 10 dice or something, and then he cast the D6 wounds automatically, no regen, and he rolled like a 20 or something on 4 dice. It was a huge roll, no miscasts. So I think he did miscast, but he didn't do any wounds to his treatment with that. So I just had to let it go. There's nothing I could do about it. So I take 2 wounds. He then does the one that wounds on a 4+. I think, 2d6 wounding on a 4+. So he does 7 wounds, halve that to 3 wounds, halve that again, might take a wound, and then he's got some strength 3 shooting into it, with wounding on 6s from the Way Watchers, Pathfinders, whatever you want to call them. So I think, I survive. I can go into the elves with the with the spears. I probably can survive their stabbing, and then I should do some damage, or I go into the one kestrel, and it's not charged, so I should do some damage there. And then I take 2 wounds from the thing that I should take 1 wound from, and then the strength 3 shoot just finished me off. I don't think I made any regen saves at all, and I just die. Meanwhile, he then swings with his great weapon guys, chops the A-bomb in half, kills 2 A-bombs in a turn, and he did 6 wounds with his unit magic into A-bomb 1, and then he did exactly 6 wounds with in combat with his unit, and rolled well to do them, and I rolled poorly. So yeah, I think on averages I was doing some damage to the A-bomb, and I don't know if you've noticed from the rest of the tournament, that's their job. Go in, hit really hard. The classic glass hammer. If you can have a toughness 5, 4-up regen glass hammer, then they are that. They draw a lot of shooting and magic turn 1, 2, and 2, do a lot of damage, and then die. Unfortunately, in this game, that just was not to be, and yeah, they died pretty cheaply without getting a go. And then turn 2 rocks around. So I declare a charge into the kestrels with my unit. He's not keen on being charged. He doesn't think he's going to do enough damage, so he chooses to flee. I redirect into his other unit of kestrels. They flee as well. They cause a panic test on his bunker unit, and they all disappear. So great, happy about that. I charged and killed his eagle as well. So yeah, could be worse. It's cleared a ton of stuff to the back of the board. 2 of those units are out of BSB range, so they're rallying on a 9. So yeah, I think there's a reasonable chance of one of them failing and flitting off the board. They're, right on the board edge, so pretty likely to go. He pushes up with his dryads, or he had previously pushed up with his dryads. So I think was threatening my flank with his dryads, but that's okay because I've chuffed up the unit that's actually going to do some damage and possibly break my steadfast in the great weapon guys. If he goes in with the dryads, that's all good to me. So it comes around to my magic phase. I put 4 up. The wheels turn on his unit of great weapons, so that when they go in against the rat swarms, he might fluff, get stuck there for a turn, which would be hilarious. And then I cast the armor power on my general, so he's strength 8. So yeah, I'm happy about that. It's all good. So at this point, yeah, I'm reasonably confident. I push a lot of his fighting guys to the back of the board. It's looking okay. He charges in. Now, an interesting point with this is he, rightly I think, the way it's worded, the way it works with a multi-charge is you maximise the units before you maximise the models. So he did declare a charge with both his unit of spearmen and his Treeman Ancient. Now, that would have involved a big drop in the unit of spearmen in combat, but they would have both fitted. It was a long charge for the Treeman Ancient, and it turned out he didn't make it. So the spearmen go in against the Plague Months. I'm pretty happy about that. They're going to do a lot of damage to Plague Months. He was pretty surprised when they had Hatred and Frenzy, and he was also, I think, underestimating my assassin. I don't think he thought my assassin went first. His BSB has the spear, which makes him distracting. So yeah, I think that should be all good. The Dryads going to the flank of my Clan Rats. Again, I think he's underestimated how choppy my general is. After the game, actually, I know he underestimated it. So yeah, it's all good. Combat comes around. He re-rolled to hit, was his spell that he wanted to get off, and I checked all my dice at that. So obviously, it was unlikely they were going to fluff, but the Great Weapon guys smashed the first lot of rat swarms and went into the second lot. I got to reform. Now my thought is I go I mean, there's an obvious way to reform and go into the Great Weapon guys with a limited number, but I think I'm better off charging Dryads, turning around, and then threatening the flank and an overrun with my big unit. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I didn't. The Dryads didn't get to swing. Or I think they might have killed one model, but yeah, I killed them all to a man. The unit and the general. So he's hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s with the armament power. So yeah, he did a number on them, which was great. So I didn't use my potion of strength with my assassin. I killed his BSB. Did 2 wounds. No killing blow, failed both his arm saves, and he didn't realise, or forgot rather, that I did D3 wounds, so chopped his head off. That meant they weren't distracting, which meant I did a ton of wounds with my Plague Monks and really whittled down the unit, so that was pretty good. So at this point, I'm really quite confident. The big problem I thought was all 3 units rallied on the table edge and came back on. So yeah, they're rallying on a 9, apart from the core unit, which is rallying on an 8. The 3 of them, I was hoping 1 would go off the board, but yeah, it wasn't to be, unfortunately. So yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. So I then charged the Dryads, still with armor power on. I only did 3 wounds this time. Really fluffed my attacks, which I was a bit upset about. They ran away. Made a big mistake here. Well, 2 big mistakes. One is I should have used the Storm Banner at the start of turn. I was hoping he wasn't going to rally. So, and then I was thinking, well, it's running away. So I didn't use the Storm Banner last turn. If I'd used the Storm Banner when he rallied, being fast cav, I didn't even think that these guys were fast cav. They then could move back into the fight really fast. So they came zooming back. So the Kestrels came zooming back in and stood and threatened my unit. So I was like, oh my god, I don't want them going in my rear. And, smashing a load of Plague Monks, of Clan Rats, sorry. So I turned to face them. I don't know why. I just didn't think. I thought he was going to reform with his great weapons and go into the side of the Plague Monks, help those guys out. But obviously he's going to turn and face the back of my general and level 4 and another core unit. Yeah, actually I could see it going both ways, but now with the rear, he's going to go in, he's going to break steadfast, he's going to run down, or threaten to run down the unit. Obviously it might get away, but yeah, big mistake to face the Kestrels. Much rather have them in my rear, and then I could chop up a load of elves and hopefully hold combat. So yeah, he does reform and faces me. But the good news was that I beat the Spearman. I thought about reforming and threatening the rear of his great weapon guys, but I needed the points, and they were going to bounce through the Treeman. So if I'd wanted to kill the Spearman, I was going to have to fight the Treeman first. So yeah, didn't appeal. So pursued the Spearman, caught them, so that's 1 core unit down. So at the moment he's not killed any of my chosen units, and I've killed 1 of his, so I'm up on the secondary objective. At this stage I haven't really lost any points. I've lost some rat swarms, I've killed a big Spearman unit, I've killed his BSB, so at this stage I'm up. Oh, I've lost my lightning cannon, but yeah, I'm up quite well, so I'm pretty happy. Yeah, it was interesting talking to Nick. Before the game, he said, oh, I think I've been slow in playing because I haven't been getting through my turns. Well, number one, I hadn't got through all my turns either, so I think whether it was time frame of the tournament or just all being relatively new to 9th Age or what. But the other thing with Nick, he's so unconventional. He'll just throw forward charge after charge. So whereas normally I'm like, if I'm playing, say, my friend James, who's on the channel a lot, I've played, or McRae, who plays goblins and dwarfs, I'll be like, okay, so they're likely to do X, Y, and Z next turn, so I'll plan a response to that, and then, I can instigate it. Nick plays by the seat of his pants. He's chucking 5 dice at spells, he's charging from miles away, he's charging at weird angles. So you have to think on your feet all the time, which one is great fun, and two is really challenging. But the downside of that is it does take time. So he'll go, "Oh, I'm going to do this weird charge from a weird angle that you never thought was likely to happen." You think, "Oh, yeah, do I want to stand to that? What's going to work out with that? Oh, okay, cool, yeah." So you have to think about that, and then you have to plan your response. So, or he casts a spell that's kind of left field, and you didn't expect it to cast, so you kind of then have to re-plan your strategy with your dice or whatever. So I don't think it's Nick's fault at all that he slow plays. I just think it's the nature of how he plays. But that's certainly not a criticism. I think it's a good way of playing. I think it's real fun. So yeah, but it meant that we weren't gonna get all the turns in. We were gonna get to turn 5 or something. So yeah, it was just one of those things. Yep. So basically, what happened next was the kestrels have moved from this picture. Sorry, I took it a bit late, but I only needed 3 to contact the kestrels and bounce through. That said, I've rolled double ones before. Yeah, so I bounced through the unit. I know it looks like the Dryads can charge me and push me off, but the Dryads have just rallied, so it was really safe to bounce through. It was very likely that I bounced through. I took a ton of wounds from dangerous terrain as I bounced through the kestrels, but that was all. So yeah, although it was a big mistake, at this stage it hasn't really cost me anything. The unit's still alive, all my characters still alive, so they're not in a great position. They can't really fight, but they're holding their points. I went second, so I get to rally. So yeah, should be all good. Unfortunately, the reason the kestrels aren't there is sloppy play. This is the why in any war game, I assume, but particularly in Ninth Age, it's he could just see my skirmishers. He could basically see the back globadier, and therefore it's a legal charge. It was reasonably long, but not horrendously long. Swift stride. He makes a charge, but they're quite heavy models, so that's why at the top of the hill, so they don't keep toppling down and crushing my models. But this is a bad situation. He can overhang enough, very legally, to contact my scoring unit, my March for Death footpad unit, and then obviously reform and threaten the second unit lot of Globadiers, or obviously they'll then have a panic test. So yeah, leadership not great. So yeah, very bad mistake. Kicking myself about that one. So yeah, I did actually consider fleeing, but I've then got they definitely will go off the board, and I've got 2 panic tests anyway, so I decided to hold. So yeah, the other unit of kestrels goes into my slaves. Now, I'm not too upset about this. If he directs a lot of attacks at my BSB, yeah, the unit will pop, but he's talking up how awesome the kestrels are and going to blow through steadfast, or blow through the unit, but it's that weird thing with is intuitively think Skaven low leadership, and probably rightly, but when you've got 3 ranks and you've got any character in there, their leadership 8 or 9 very quickly. So if he doesn't break steadfast, which is very unlikely, with 2 turns to go or 2 combat phases to go, this unit should be okay, is my thought. So yeah. Unfortunately, again, with the lack of time, things got pretty hectic. But yeah, possibly, unsurprisingly, following on from that, he shot a lot into my plague monks. I forgot to take pictures where that story was going. He shot magic into my plague monks, trying to whittle them down, and didn't do enough. He chopped up the slaves, and I think I was lucky. He did direct a couple of attacks into my BSB first turn, or 3 or 4 attacks, and fluffed a couple. I saved a couple, and that obviously cost him not chopping through the slaves as quickly, and he's harder to wound. It's harder to hit, and he's got to save. So yeah, it was definitely a priority to chop through those slaves. So I was 8 on a reroll, then 7 on a reroll. I held for that, so that was good. The kestrels very easily killed the globadiers, and unfortunately I failed both panic tests from that. Both units ran off the board, so yeah, big, massive swing. So it's 180 points per unit of Globadiers, 140 points of footpads, and that means we draw at this stage the scoring unit. I fired into his units to try and break them, but they were never going to break. And then it comes down to my general's units, get on the rally. I fail the rally, which then gives him half points for the unit for my characters. So between me not rallying and these units running off the board, it cost me 900 points, I think, for the unit not rallying, and more than that. And then, yeah, similar for these units running off the board, another 500 points, which on points would have brought it back to a draw. And then if the footpads hadn't gone off the board, I'd have run the secondary objective. So for leaving one rat hanging out and failing an 8 leadership test, it cost me from going from a 13-7 win to a 13-7 loss. So massive swing. And all from, well, one silly error where I didn't face the right direction with my unit, or 2 silly errors there without using my Storm Banner for his rallying troops, not knowing. I mean, I don't think I've read the Sylvan Elves book hardly at all, if at all. And so not knowing that fast Cavan could get back in the fight so quickly was a big problem. And then letting that one Globadier hang out. There was no need for it. I mean, they skirmished, they were moving 10. They weren't threatened by anything on my left, so would have been a very easy remedy. Yeah, so yeah, I was annoyed with myself at that, but such is life. These things happen. Nick played very well. He deserved the win, in all honesty, probably. Yeah, as I say, I made a couple of mistakes and they cost me big. And so, yeah, from that, kind of says it all. He deserved the win. So, yeah, it's good. But it puts me in a position where really I need 20 to win, to get anywhere in the tournament. I'm not going to win the tournament, but to get anywhere in the tournament, I'm going to need to win big in Game 5, which hopefully will be coming on the channel soon. So, yeah, hopefully subscribe, like the video so that you can catch up with the next installment.